slowly, child is slowly taken. When the violence causes silence, who are we mistaken? If you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are dying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Oh. Another mother's breaking, art is taking over. When the violence causes silence, who are we mistaken? It's the same old theme since 1916. In your head, they are dying. Tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Oh, 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 yeah.
Give it up for Carmynn.
Woo! Hello, welcome to the Honeybees. Hello, I'm your girl, Lil Sonya.
And I'm the Hornet, JC.
The Hornet. Hello, and it's me. I'm Carmynn. I don't have a nickname yet. I am who I am.
Yes, there you go.
So am I starting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So hi everybody. Last week, man, talking to you two just got my gears turning. I've been thinking so much. So I guess in following with last week, I was thinking about women empowerment. I guess I'll start with a funny story because that song's kind of serious. And I was like, I don't want to start the whole show with like women have been beaten up for centuries, you know.
My goodness.
So instead, I went shopping last week because I'm going through a divorce and I'm moving and all this stuff and like really leaning into female independence right now. And I'm carrying a fridge by myself in Walmart and just like picking it up and putting it in and thinking about how self-reliant I am and how a lot of women are made to believe that they can't be that way.
Yes. They are. They are. Women are often looked upon as being weak.
Yeah.
As being weak, and we're not.
Yeah.
We bear children. We give birth, so we're definitely not weak. But it also goes off of, we had a conversation about this topic, and men being the dominant species, and they're being the providers, and they're being like top tier number one opposed to the female.
Yeah. Yeah. That idea that like a man has to be the provider is like really fed to us as kids.
I'd like to know your take on that, JC.
Well, my mother was a single parent, and she was definitely a very strong woman, even if there were times that she was falling apart, falling to pieces.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fortunately, she was supported by her family. You know, we lived in my grandfather's house. At least, you know, we had that. I had some sense of structure, but I saw my mom suffer a lot.
With being a single mom.
With being a single mom.
Trying to do everything she needed to do.
And it's very hard for me to say this because, and I hope my dad doesn't see this show. My
Hi, Dad.
my dad, right? Yeah, because my dad left us. We were still in the Philippines
Okay.
to pursue his American dream. So
Mm.
I was abandoned at the age of 2, and then my mom had to be
Pick up and be mom and
yeah,
dad.
yeah, at the same time.
Speaking of that, a lot of low-income households back in the day didn't have the opportunity to have dad in the house
Mhm.
because the system could kick dad out the house.
Mm.
You couldn't get welfare benefits and have dad in the house.
Mhm.
You couldn't get any help and have dad in the house. You
Yeah.
couldn't even date
Mm-hmm.
and try to get a dad in the house. And I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty sad.
Yeah.
Seeing that you know society puts males up here
Mm-hmm.
and as top tier and as the provider, I would think that the government would say, okay, let's get them in, let's get them working, let's get them stable, let's get the family self-sufficient so they can get off of the program
Mhm.
instead of kicking them out the house.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
You know, a lot of families suffered
Mm-hmm.
because of that.
Yeah. I mean, the system is not built in a way to support people.
Absolutely
I don't think.
not.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely not.
yeah. I grew up in a household with domestic violence, which you mentioned before the show
Mhm,
started. And that's kind of obvious. I saying zombie. I don't know if my interpretation is correct. I haven't looked up like what does zombie mean on Google, but I imagine it's this like generational trauma, right?
That's
Of,
what
like,
I was getting from it when
women
you were singing.
watching their like sons
my
going to
God.
war and dying, or like whatever
Yeah.
situation you're in. You can think of a million different examples of women having to watch their kids like go off. I was on the show with Dawn, if any of you watch it. She's here in the studio too, talking about my brother who was stabbed 7 years ago. And I too watched my mom kind of like suffer trying to figure it out growing up. And I think that if she had her own sense of identity outside of her marriage, it wouldn't have been that way. So like, what is it? I feel like I can be on my own, but what is it about society that makes many women feel like they can't? I'm not sure.
Wait, she was stabbed?
My brother was.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. But my, I guess, theory on it is that he grew up in violence, so that's what he knew. You know, so he was
Mhm.
very drawn to violence as a way to protect himself. He did like martial arts and stuff.
Mhm.
Because of
So,
the
yeah.
domestic violence
Yeah.
in the home.
Violence begets
I agree with
violence.
that.
That's very
Yeah.
true.
I was a domestic violence victim for 6 years.
Mhm.
And I do believe that what occurred in my home trickled down to my boys.
Yeah.
Because I see them being aggressive with women sometimes. And, you know, and I'm like, hey, no, those are triggers for me. And I don't want to have to jack you up, you know, thinking that you're my aggressor.
Yeah.
You know, so I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
It does trickle down to the children.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the children picking it up intentionally, but they have aggression too. They're watching
Yes,
their mom
of
get her
course.
butt kicked, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have aggression in them too.
Mhm.
So I think it's therapy for everyone, but we know men don't like therapy.
Yeah.
Men
Love
don't
it.
like therapy, and you
Yeah.
guys need it
Yeah.
probably
Well-
more than anyone. Sorry.
I know some men that have faced their dead end, and that's when
Yeah.
they realize that they need
the therapy. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
fortunately, I've been to a Christian fellowship here in Las Vegas that they have celebrate recovery.
Oh, I think we
the
talked
men,
about
yeah,
Yeah.
broken up into small groups and talk about their issues and what their triggers are. And
That's
Yeah.
important.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
important for everybody,
Mhm.
not just men. For
Yeah.
everyone, especially women,
yes,
especially us, because
yeah,
we're always ostracized, so to speak, in society.
Mhm.
We're watched through a very close lens of what we do and how we do it. Can't be too sexual. You can't show too much skin.
Mhm.
But men can go out without a shirt on.
Mhm.
hmm
Why can they go out without a shirt on? Why can't we go out without a shirt on?
Mhm.
They have peckers too.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a double standard.
Yeah. Yeah. So many thoughts about that, but
Yes.
it's hard to
Yes.
articulate.
Not that
it.
I want to go out without a shirt on. I'm just saying.
But even just the fact,
Oh.
like, I had a shirt that I chose to wear to go work at Don't Tell Mama Piano Bar. I work there sometimes. Show up. But I was wearing this cute black top, but it looked kind of like a bra. And my ex-husband told me to change. I didn't, but it's just, interesting how that dynamic in society, I don't think it's true for everyone, and it felt very archaic to me. Like, am I really with a man who's telling me what to wear? That doesn't make any sense, but that still happens.
It does.
You know?
It does.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't only happen to women, but to men as well.
That's true.
Most especially the men that are like Prince, very creative.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
Yes.
I will not allow my husband to wear gray sweatpants.
Gray sweatpants.
Not at all. So it's true. Women do it too.
No gray joggers.
No, not at all.
No tight ass gray.
And I'm like, when I see him, I'm like, where are you going, huzzy? You're going out here dressed like a hussy?
I'm going to Target right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, that's the reason why when I wear my TikTok pants, like I cover everything up.
Yeah, you don't want to be criticized for showing it all off.
I know. I don't want them to see my assets.
There's so much freedom in not caring what other people think.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, we keep talking about how society makes us do things, tells us how to feel about ourselves, and then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, can we shut all that off and then decide who we want to be or what to do or what to wear or what relationships to be in, regardless of all that? Like,
But can we, when we are just bounded by these gender roles,
Yeah.
we're binded by these gender roles. Like, society wants us to, you can't pick up that refrigerator. You're a woman. You're delicate.
oh, but nobody offered to help.
You know? But I'm saying,
Right.
Yeah.
let's get a man to do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it's often seen. And we can pick up refrigerators.
Yeah.
We can move them. We can install them. There's so much more that we can do. I don't think that we should have gender specific roles.
Yeah.
I mean, men can't have babies. We have no other choice. But when it comes to work, because we can talk about employment and the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
And the pay. Men get paid more than women doing the same roles, doing the same job. And I technically think we do it better. We do it better. But they get the big cheese. Now, ask yourself, are they getting the big cheese because they're the man and society thinks they have to take care of the home? Or are they getting the big cheese because men are at the forefront of being top tier?
I feel like that some things are ingrained in society that are outdated. So
Absolutely.
probably it's true that they get more because they're supposed to provide. But again, like, that's just not the case anymore. Or it is, but not for everybody.
Not for everyone.
Not for everybody.
And that shouldn't be implied anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because women are coming into themselves and they're doing everything.
Right.
Everything for themselves. Like the producer.
Yes.
One woman team running everything by herself. There's no man involved. She's doing everything by herself. That's amazing. Women are evolving in this world. We're coming up and we're making us stand and we're using our voices.
Yes.
That didn't happen a long time ago. Women were silent to the back, scared to speak up, scared to say whatever they wanted, they feel.
Yeah.
You know, that's changing, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Keep thinking about what I said before the show started about having audacity to speak up. Like, there's so many things that happen where we just don't say what we're feeling because we're afraid of what somebody's going to say or think or respond, or we're afraid we're going to miss out on something. And I'm kind of over that at this point. Like, if I'm feeling something and it's running through my head over and over again, I'm just like, there's a reason why I'm feeling this. I need to
let it out,
vocalize it.
Let it out.
And if that leads to like a severed connection or something, then that wasn't for me.
Absolutely.
And where I'm going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing that you have to sever. Those things weigh you down.
Yeah.
You have to sever, so that's a good thing. And it's a good thing that you recognize that now, too.
Yeah.
Was it the divorce?
And this is, I mean, partially.
Okay.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of...
You know, certain
a
things
lot
make
of
us look at
different-
things differently.
Yeah.
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 How about you, JC?
Oh my goodness. This episode is going to open up a can of worms. And I think it already did.
Let's get to opening. Let's go.
Oops.
Spill the worms.
Guys, I showed up today wearing green, where I don't know if
Yes,
you know
I
what that
love
means,
that.
but I'm not
You
supposed
blended
to.
in.
She disappeared for
So
a minute.
Oh my
she looked like
goodness.
a work of art
Yeah.
with like a portion of her body
It was
just
like the
floating
same color.
about.
Oh my goodness, imagine. Oh.
It's
I
okay.
love it.
It's okay. You came back even more spectacular.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. With,
Target, sponsor us.
yes.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Yeah, in a Barbie world.
And shout out to Target for letting her get in line and go after someone
Yes.
cut in
Oh,
front
yes.
of her
my God.
right before it was showtime.
Yeah,
goodness.
I guess she encountered some Karen over there.
Yeah, she's, ma'am?
I'm like,
Oh my goodness. I hope you're all wondering what the story is. We'll tell you later.
yeah, we'll
All
tell
right,
you
well,
when we come back.
We got to go to break, guys. We'll
Yeah.
be right back.
Don't change that back channel.
Now on digital and DVD.
Did it?
Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
Ready to buy a home? Whether you want to move out of your parents' home for the first time, own a home after renting for years, or buy a place with a spouse or partner, purchasing your first home is a big step. Finding the right home for you and your family has never been easier. New American Funding can help you determine how much house you qualify for, what your payments may be, and get you pre-approved, which will help you put in a stronger offer when you do find your new home. Before you start the home buying process, it's important to consider everything that you want in a home and what that means to you. There are several things you should consider when buying a home. The neighborhood. Location, location, location. School district. Review what school district the house is in. Even if you don't have kids, having a home in a desirable school district will pay off when it comes time to sell your home in the future. Commute times. Check the routes to work, school, grocery stores, and more to see how busy they are and how much time these routes will take. Crime rate. Before you get too involved in the home buying process, check out the crime rates for the neighborhoods you are interested in. Our complete property profile report can give you property ownership, historical tax and mortgage data, neighborhood and school data, local market conditions, and more. Find the right home for you and your family with your complimentary property profile from New American Funding. To get pre-approved or to get your complimentary property profile, contact us today.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
to the Honeybees. It's your girl, Lil Sonya.
Carmynn,
JC.
welcome back.
Welcome back. We're going to shift it a little bit to something a little more serious. We had lots of laughs before the break, and now we're going to go into violence against women. I wanted to point out that violence against women does not always have to incorporate a man.
Very true.
We have women who violate other women. For example, the case with Miss Savannah Grant, 23-year-old Savannah Grant, who did 20 years in the penitentiary for splashing her ex-boyfriend's mistress in the face with red lye and bleach.
Oh.
Good Lord.
Yeah. The story sounds a little gruesome, but the point of it all is that Miss Savannah was really the victim of this all. This other girl, Sabrina, who was actually NFL player DeAndre Hopkins' mom, she was the aggressor. She would drive an hour and a half to this young lady's house and just drive up and down her street, call her phone hanging up. She would actually show up to her porch and knock on the door looking for her boyfriend. So when the incident occurred, she had came over looking for the boyfriend. Of course, he was there. And Savannah begs her to get off her porch, leave her house, and she wouldn't. Savannah clicked in the mind, lost it. And I guess she had had enough.
Yes.
She went into the kitchen. She said there was a cup sitting there, and she said she had forgot that she had just a little bit of red dye left in there. She wasn't thinking. She poured the bleach and the water in there. She told her to get off her porch again. She didn't. She threw it at her, blinded her in both eyes.
Ooh.
She ended up doing 20 years in jail based on her ex-boyfriend's testimony, which was a lie. He just recently admitted to the lie in an interview.
Oh, wow.
So tragedy for all parties involved.
Wow.
Really sad. So, yeah, it doesn't always have to be a male that does it.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it was a male who had instigated it because he didn't try to do anything to break it up.
Right.
And then I heard he drove her to a gas station and left her.
Oh.
Left her there.
Not even call 911.
Not even call 911. The gas station attendant did.
Yeah.
Dang.
By the grace of God, she survived that.
Yeah.
So unfortunate. So unfortunate.
Defending yourself is not a thing you're really allowed to do these days.
No.
What were you going to say?
The paramedic should have been there in
Yes.
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
And Savannah also, she immediately called 911 after she did it. She said she heard her let out a scream that she knew was not right. And she called 911 and told them that she did it.
So she
She called on herself.
Oh, wow.
She called 911.
Yes, she called on herself.
No rewards for integrity these days?
None.
No.
None. She did 20 years.
Oh, man.
20 years. Can you imagine going to jail at the age of 23?
No.
The judge telling you, I have no problem with sentencing you to the maximum of 20 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you're defending yourself.
Yeah.
And piggybacking on this story, I also grew up in an environment where, because I grew up in my grandfather's house and all. My mom and her siblings were also there, and sometimes they would get into cat fights.
Oh, yeah.
And we stayed in one of the rooms in the second floor. My grandfather had a big haunted house, but that's another story. And one time I was sick and I heard my mom fighting with one of her siblings rolling down the stairs.
Oh, it
and
got really
punching, beating each other, and I just started to cry. Like I felt like super helpless because I couldn't believe that they were like doing this to my own mother.
Yeah.
So I carried that with me, that stigma. It scarred me.
Yeah. Witnessing violence as a kid impacts you in ways you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why therapy is so important.
Yes.
Because you can go back and see those things and then be like, oh, this is why I am this way. And then you can choose who to be. But a lot of people go around blindly. They become this person because they saw this or experienced this as a kid or as a young adult, and then they continue to just be the way that they are. But
they grow up to be the aggressor.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And my second story now, the aggressor is a guy. So this was back in the Philippines. So my friend was kind of naive back in the day, fell in love with this movie actor in the Philippines. Everybody knew him as like the Prince Charming, and of course, a lot of gay people fantasized about this guy because he had a movie where he was only wearing a loincloth and angel's wings.
Sexy.
Anyhow,
What movie?
The visual.
yeah, muscular.
Like Tarzan.
So yeah. So anyhow, it was in the same neighborhood as my friend, and didn't realize that he was eyeballing where she lived because she really, her parents were loaded.
Okay.
So he was after the money. So he seduced her and gave her this impression that he was a Prince Charming, but he was not. He was an absolute nightmare.
Snake.
So yes, a snake. So she ended up, eloping with this guy. The mother of this friend of mine kicked her out, and then he ended up getting into drugs and started sexually, abusing her, like against her will. He would even like slam her on like a marble table and all that, and it was a nightmare.
She found out who he really was
Mhm.
because of the money. There was no money.
There was no money involved.
So he showed himself. Interesting.
Yeah, as soon as he found out that he was the one who was going to support
Be the
her,
provider.
He's like, wait a minute.
He didn't like that because he was gunning for the billions.
It's crazy to me how people can actually present themselves as somebody else, because that's kind of what was happening in my marriage. Like, then when things were not the way he thought they were going to be, all of a sudden there was this side to him that I was just
Lord.
like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. And then you have to, you're remembering the good stuff and you're remembering what you like. And you almost have to force yourself to see what they're showing you and to continually watch that in your mind and be like, this is the person that they are. Or, I mean, even if they're both of those people, the fact that one of them is that version means you need to walk away.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
You literally can get fooled.
Huge red flag right there, and it's just like a Katy Perry song. I don't know if you ladies know about this Katy Perry song where she punches the Prince Charming because she found out who he really was.
Oh, yeah.
So she punches him like at the end of the video.
You deserved it. You deserved it.
She didn't go to jail because it was art.
But we as women too, we make excuses for them. And we think we can change them.
No.
I had to learn the hard way. Like, maybe if I give more love, or maybe if I show more support, maybe his mom didn't give it to him, or maybe he was looking for dad, but I had to learn that I wasn't mom or dad, especially not his.
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of women make the mistake of staying in those type of relationships, because we think that there's always the good in the person, the part that will, won us over in the first place.
Yes.
We always want to see that part, and then we see the grizzly part of them, and we're like, oh, we can tame that bear, but we can't. We really can't.
Yeah, self-absorbed narcissist.
Yes.
Is what you're dealing
that
with.
was so perfectly said. Self-absorbed narcissism.
Yeah.
My baby daddy.
I have a hard time believing that there are bad people out in the world, but then the older I get, I'm like, there are some bad eggs.
Oh yes.
Or people who choose, I don't know. Like, is it a choice? Are they unaware? I just have such a hard time believing
I think
there
it
are
is a
bad
choice.
eggs, Like,
I think it is a choice.
Yeah.
I think some people are just they got to do their job, right? We can't have light without dark, so
yeah, that's true.
even without good, so I guess they got to play their role.
Yeah.
But I honestly believe that there is a choice and that people make those choices. I don't believe that, even if there's a mental disconnect, even the mental ill have choices. Even the mental ill make choices. So I definitely believe it's a choice. It's not something that just instilled in their brain or their mind, and a switch that goes on and off, and they're like, hey, let me slap Carmynn, I don't like what she's wearing today. No, that's a choice. You can slap Carmynn because you don't like what she's wearing today, but what is Carmynn going to do back to you? What's the repercussion of that choice? Because I'm sure you're not just going to sit there and let anyone slap you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's always back and forth. There's always good and bad, light and dark, and everyone has a choice.
Or even that lady that prevented her to go.
Yeah,
I'm
the
still
lady at
thinking about
Target.
that.
Yeah.
She
That's a
could have
choice.
triggered you
Yeah.
totally wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Thank God for your reaction.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was bold.
And you
It
took
was.
it so graciously.
That
That's
was
what
really
I
bold.
admire about you. I wish I was like that because.
Yeah, because I
Like,
probably would have
yeah.
moved her cart out the way.
Yeah. You should have seen me at CVS Pharmacy a few weeks ago. I really blew up.
Yeah. But I have a tendency maybe to be too gracious. That's what I've been talking about. I mentioned it a few times, right? Like the audacity to say something. I'm learning that that's okay, and to not be so afraid of being seen as anyone other than Carmynn, the sweet girl, who will take things in stride. Yes, I'm that way, but I'm also a ferocious cat, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been alone for most of my adult life, and if you're going to try and trample on me, I'm going to survive.
Absolutely.
Like, you know?
You better.
But it's hard to own that because there's so many, again, like societal expectations of who I'm supposed to be as a woman, or like just who I am generally, like my temperament. People pick on that, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like what my lovely Jewish aunt would always say. If you step on my tail, I'm going to bite you.
I love that. Can we make t-shirts?
Yeah.
Yes, that's cute. Because it will happen.
Shalom.
Yes. Oh, man.
I love it. Shalom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're having too much fun, guys.
Yeah.
I know.
Too much
It really
fun.
is like therapy.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to feel better after this. I already do. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was about to say something and I totally forgot. That's
We're
how I know
zoning
we're
out a
having
bit,
too
like,
much
Yeah.
fun.
In and out of that.
It's like coffee's coma. I was thinking about, I guess to tie in this week with last week, like violence against women. I think violence against trans women is as prevalent in
Oh
our
yeah.
society.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And their violence is more heinous.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
When you hear about it, it's like,
Mhm,
what?
mhm, mhm.
Why?
Yeah.
It's like
Just
an
because they're being
attack.
themselves,
Yeah.
they're not bothering anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people make decisions based off of their triggers, though, without realizing it. Like,
That's
maybe
true.
Yeah.
they're feeling uncertain about themselves.
That's
and
true.
they
Yeah.
see somebody doing something that's against what the world told them they were supposed to be, and they wouldn't dare let themselves be that. So it makes them angry
It
because
makes
they
them
can't
angry,
be free.
yeah.
You know? And then they're
Yeah.
I
acting
agree.
on that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I've always been told that a person's opinion of you is really opinion of themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a reflection
Yeah.
of them. It's what happened to me many years ago. So my friend Kathy and I, we're like Trekkies, so we, went to see the Star Trek reboot. And I noticed that there was this guy that was already looking at me and Kathy like really weird. So as soon as we were able to grab our seat, I said, Kathy, I need to go to the restroom. So I went to the restroom, and then I was, fixing my, I was looking at the mirror, and all of a sudden that same guy came from behind me and said, if you're going to do anything to me, I'm going to do something bad to you. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Where did that come
what?
from?
You were
just
what is this?
existing.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not even my type. I mean, get over yourself, honey. Honey, you're not my type. And you know what I said? I looked at him and I said, God bless you. And then I walked away.
That was the perfect response. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the perfect response.
Because I didn't want to turn the whole Star Trek experience into a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then what if he would have been the aggressor in the situation, Who's to say that he wasn't coming into the bathroom behind you to
Oh, honey,
try
I
to
would
do
have kicked
something
his
to you?
balls.
I am sure.
Uh-huh.
I am sure
I
of it.
would have kicked him
But that's
right there on the
scary.
groin.
That's really really scary. It is. It's really scary.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can only imagine what a lot of people go through, especially in the LGBTQ community, when they want to be themselves.
Yeah.
Everyone should be allowed to just be themselves. Art is expression.
Yeah.
We are nothing but a canvas, an art canvas that God created. Why can't we express ourselves the way we want to?
Yeah.
Right. I wonder, was it my red anime hair that day and the fuchsia
You were looking
shirt?
too sexy.
Fuchsia shirt that I was wearing. I was years ahead of Barbie.
You were looking too good.
Like I stirred his pot.
That's exactly what happened.
like
That's exactly what happened. You stirred his pot.
Yeah.
He wanted you to feed into his bull. That's what he wanted.
The bull crap.
The bull crap.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Too funny. Too funny. We went a whole different direction.
I know. Yeah.
Because, I think that we all get the logistics of being violent against women and the things that women go through. And it's a really sensitive subject.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially for me, it was a point in time that I couldn't talk about it. So now I like to be transparent because maybe there's a woman out there who can build or learn from my story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are plenty of women out there who will learn from your story.
And it 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years. It
It's a
was
long
very
time.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long
Yeah.
time.
All right, we're going to another break, guys. We'll be right back.
See you
Don't
soon.
leave.
Don't change
Stay
that
right there.
back channel.
Las Vegas, here we come!
I can't believe we're all moving to Vegas.
I know, right? It's a dream come true.
Wow, super creepy dude.
Mason, stop. I think he heard you.
What if someone walked up in the back of his semi?
She's gone. Someone took her.
Who's that creepy trucker?
What are you doing?
They call me Mother Trucker.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York. So his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures provide.
Got Films is a full-service production company that provides motion picture quality content and production services for use in the film and TV industry. Looking for a seasoned crew, high-quality equipment, or other production services for your film, TV, commercial, corporate convention, sports, news, or interview project? Your search stops here. Some of our projects include NASCAR, American Restoration, Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, Top Chef, BattleBots, Forge and Fire, and Street Outlaws. We have also produced over 60 feature films and documentaries. We're ready for all your needs. Whatever your project, whatever your budget, big or small, Got Films got you. GotFilms.com.
Welcome back, guys, the Honeybees. Thank you for hanging out with us today. It's your girl, Lil Sonya.
You got Carmynn here.
You got JC.
So we're gonna, I guess, just finish out what we were kind of talking about, right? I guess I can share some of my personal experience, and then maybe you've talked about yours, you've talked about yours, but we can add on to that. Because I guess I did mention in the first segment, I grew up in a household with domestic violence. And I feel like the system doesn't work in women's favor. I know a lot of women are, I don't know why you were in it for 6 years, but a lot of women are scared to leave. You get to this point where you're kind of dependent on somebody. I've been experiencing that a little bit in the last few months. Like, am I really going to make it on my own? Do I need to give up on my dreams and go back and be a teacher again? Because, like, there's a lot of fear related to independence. And I guess something else I was thinking about in the last week is kind of a cliche topic, you know, women going out and getting catcalled. Like, men don't go out usually and they're afraid of anything happening to them, you know, we're afraid of going out at night or living alone or all of these things that that's kind of like a women-only experience. But maybe not, maybe
Yes,
not.
I was not exactly physically attacked, but there was some like really weirdo out there who was like following me.
So a stalking situation.
Yeah. But thank God it only happened
Yes,
once.
thank God.
Yeah.
I want to answer your question. Why I was in it for 6 years.
Yeah.
Today's topic: the man took care of the household. The man was taking care of me, and I had no out. At least I thought I didn't.
Yeah.
At least, but you get sick of that. You get sick of that shit. You know.
Yeah.
I ran away in the middle of the night.
Really?
I sure did. I sure did. We were living in an apartment, and I went to do laundry. All my laundry was packed in the bags. I did not unpack my laundry bags. He went to work that night, and I left. And I never looked back.
Wow.
And I never looked back.
Wow.
And that's exactly what my friend did with that Prince Charming / diabolical demon. She left and took her children with her.
That's good.
And just left the guy.
And you're so scared when you're in those type of relationships. You're scared for yourself. You're scared for your children because you're actually living with this demon and you don't know what they're capable of.
Yeah. Oh.
But it's all a brainwashing mind tactic because in reality, they have no power over you.
Yeah.
They have no power over you. And if you let them control this, that's the power.
Yeah.
Because these people love to gaslight you.
Yes.
That's what's
yes.
happening.
That's all they know how to do.
Yeah.
That's how they go through life and manipulate and get their way.
Which they learned as a child, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Yes.
I was like, nobody who's that way is programmed to be that way. I don't think so. I don't like to make like sweeping generalizations.
No.
I think
it's learned behavior, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's learned. And plus, you know, I don't mean to cram my beliefs down people's throat, but we do live in a fallen and broken world.
We do.
All
Absolutely.
broken and shattered.
Everyone's trying to find their way.
Yeah.
Even us.
Mm-hmm.
We're still growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we live in a very, I think, you know, selfish world, and we need to come out of that and actually, you know, see what's happening to the people around us. Like, I see you. I see you.
Yes.
I see.
Carmynn, I want to ask you, and I hope you don't mind sharing since we're being transparent. I talked about myself being a victim as the actual punching bag.
Oh, glory.
How did it feel from a child's aspect of seeing your mom go through that?
Yeah. Yeah. Tough. I've got a lot of memories, watching my mom and not being able to do anything. I ended up being a victim of it because I was the person in the family that was like, hey guys, this isn't okay. Like,
right.
Excuse me, can we not repeat this cycle? And I feel like I was born with that. That feels like a divine gift, like this voice to speak up, which it seems like a theme of today, and I'm finding it again. But I would sit in the car for hours with my stepdad, and he would try to manipulate me and gaslight me into thinking it was my mom's fault, and I would never waver.
They always do that.
I would never waver.
They always do that.
Yeah.
I just found out years later that my former abuser, was doing the same thing to our son.
Oh, no.
Your mom hates you. Your mom doesn't like you. Your mom doesn't want you. Your mom, things like that. And it triggers a kid.
Yes,
It triggers a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really messes them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. And it's unfortunate that they're like that. You can't get to me, so you want to get to me through my kid.
Yeah.
The
That's
power of the subconscious mind, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And most especially if the child's mind is very vulnerable.
Yeah. I think every kid's mind is. Right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. They're listening more than you think they are. I was at my sister's yesterday watching my niece. My nephew is like 3. Sorry if I got that wrong. Camille's not watching anyway. Anyway, my niece she'll be 2 very soon. And he would do something. And then about 5 minutes later, she would completely replicate it.
Ooh.
Little genius. Like, he was playing this game with me and my dog, and then 5 minutes later, she gets up on the couch and starts doing the same thing and just communicating. Like, kids' brains are just soaking everything in. So what you say to them, if you're not the type of parent who apologizes, then all that is just getting stuck.
Yep.
Because they're going to believe everything you say to them unless you teach them that, like, people make mistakes, that kind of thing. They're just going to soak it all up.
And they turn into it.
Yeah, and then become it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They turn into it.
Yeah.
Which is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
So unfortunate. It's important to feed your babies positivity, love, light. Keep the algorithm going positive.
Yeah. Because I kind of believe, I believe we're in a fallen world, but I almost believe that, like, heaven and hell are here on earth. This is, like, controversial.
I believe the same thing.
I think you can create your own heaven or create your own hell, and it has to do with that.
Absolutely.
But then people pop in, like all these people lately that I've had to, like, kind of block. I'm like, oh, you're not my heaven. Like, you're coming in definitely hell back. Oh no, I recognize that energy.
But do we recognize that those people are put into our spaces for a reason? Like to teach us a lesson, or so that we can recognize those red flags?
We can recognize it and not repeat it again. It's like what I was asking myself last night. Why did I attract these types of people into my life? I just need to stop right now. And then at the same time, I'm talking to myself, stop thinking yourself as the victim, because you need to get into a platform of victory and just say no.
Yes.
No.
And no is a
Mm-hmm.
release. You feel so good after saying it.
Yes.
It's like victory.
No.
It's hard at first, though. Like,
It is. But you wake
here.
up and you come to that place of revelation and realization.
It's like you said, you always want to please society or please the next person. So you're like skeptical of like putting your foot down, but not anymore. We're saying no. No. We're cutting it and we're saying no.
Enough is enough. Is enough.
That's right. Enough is enough. Women are taking a stand.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about earlier, you were talking about like how you left, and your friend left. But a lot of women don't leave. Like my mom only left because she had to, because their business went under, and then it was like, oh, here's my moment. And a lot of people wait for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's a mistake.
It is.
But it's all fear, you know, like you're afraid that if you do leave, things aren't going to work out. You're going to be living in a box. That's a valid fear, you know, but I think people need to leave sooner and just face that fear, you know. But then, like, where are they going to go if they don't have anybody to fall back on? That's, I think, what's sad about our world.
I mean, the perfect example would be Tina Turner when she was with Ike.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
She just, one day, you know, she was penniless, didn't have any money. She just decided to leave that abusive relationship.
Yeah. And flourished.
And flourished.
And flourished.
And that time that she even crossed the freeway and she almost got ran over by a truck.
Dang.
6-wheeler truck. Or maybe
you don't
18-wheeler.
care when you snap out of it. You don't care. You just gotta get away.
You gotta get away. Yeah. And she did.
Gotta get away.
She did it.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up for today. We thank you all for tuning in. We're gonna give you a little bit of information about ourselves so you can catch up on us on your free time. I'm Lil Sonya. I can be reached at The Real Lil Sonya on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I am a television host, actress, and comedian.
My turn. I'm Carmynn Bradley. I am a singer, songwriter. You can catch me, like I said, at Don't Tell Mama sometimes. Just check their Facebook and you can see when I'm singing. I am on Instagram as Carmynn Bradley, CarMynn_Bradley, and also on Facebook. I'm an actress and a model as well.
Yay. And I am JC Crisologo. I'm just kidding. Crisologo. And I'm actor / comedian, and I do movie reviews on my show called Spotlight. And please don't miss my Spotlight in a few hours from now. I will be reviewing The Blue Beetle by the Warner Brothers.
Nice.
Yes. And also, I forgot. I have a comedy show named Gizzy and His Frenemies.
Oh.
Also on the same bat channel, Social Media Shows Network.
And if you want to sponsor us, just hit up admin at socialmediashows.com. Correct?
Yes.
Admin at socialmediashows.com. I really think that we're going to be opening up a lot of doors and speaking about a lot of things that people need to hear. So if you're in a position to give to support that message, please do so.
And we support back.
Yes, we do. Giving back to the beautiful community.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
And we'll wrap this up like a burrito. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.